everyone, so today we have another review video for the BAIWEI TW-1031. Our main question for this review is whether this guide can be improved, specifically whether it can be compatible with the MC-01 upgrade kit for skirt. And MC-01 upgrade kit is this kit over here on my right side. So let's put the figures over here so we can take a look at some of the components for the kit that we have. So for this kit, of course, we still have a big arm with articulation. It's different from the one that comes with the BAIWEI figures in terms that it has more details and the fingers are actually longer. The arm from skirt actually look very hollow from the inside, but with the MC-01 it's got filled out very nicely. If you look at the fingers, for example, just one fingers over here, you can see that clearly the MC-01 finger is a little longer. On this skirt figures right here, I already iterated one of the arm. It's the arm blade for the MC-01 skirt on here. Of course, all of the MC-01 part that they have in here, they own custom painted. So that's why they look a little dirty and bronze in colors like this. In comparison to the original arm for this BAIWEI skirt, we can see that it has less articulation, specifically all of the three fingers here move together, and it doesn't have thumb articulation. But for the MC-01, it actually have individual finger articulation. Even the thumb have articulation as well. So that was the benefit, and then they are very sharp. Extra finger are super sharp. And the blades are also very sharp as well, not like dull looking, the BAIWEI one. I already put one part to this skirt figure and we see that the right arm is definitely compatible. So if I take out this arm, which is another arm for the BAIWEI skirt, this one have no finger articulation. It's very similar to the original Studio Series arm. So those two arms come with that BAIWEI, but I both think that they're not as good as this arm over here. So we can put this one on skirt as well. So slide it here and then just slide it on. So yes. So for the two arms, they definitely compatible with the skirt. Then we go into the other part inside the kit. So of course, some of you may already know that this part come into pieces like this, and the plastic quality was really not the best. They are very flimsy plastic. But at the time where this kit came out, this was pretty good because the DNA design kit was not out at the time. And because this kit is way cheaper than the DNA design kit, so it's also an alternative option. For those parts that you can see right here, they are supposed to be put together like this. You can see the two pack go into the two hole here. So in order to integrate this into the original Studio Series figures, we actually put this onto the legs right at the thigh region over here, mainly to cover the hollowness of the inside of the legs. But because for the BAIWEI figures, they re-engineer the legs, arm, the thigh region over here. So this thigh is actually very thick. So this part for sure, we cannot integrate onto the BAIWEI figures. As you can see in here, when I try to put it on, there's no way this can fit in. This thigh is already very thick. And it's got filled out entirely. So there's nothing that you can really plug into. So for the thigh region, we know that those parts are not compatible with the BAIWEI figures. So that's for one leg. So of course we have the other leg as well. So that's also not compatible. So let's take that out. And then for this part over here, they are covered for the top of the legs. Theoretically, you would put them together the same way that you put together the other piece I showed earlier. They just have some peg on one side, and then the other side we have one of the hole in which we can align them together and just plug them on. So theoretically, with the Studio Series skirt, they have some hollowness here. It looks very skinny. So we will put those on to have cover those gaps and thicken up the legs. But in this case, you can see that the leg is very thick already. BAIWEI definitely re-engineered this type entirely, and they are just one piece. So there's no way we can actually put this on. It's very thick. And I even tried to put all of those parts together, like those two parts, go with this shin guard over here. Put those three together, you have one piece that look like this. If you have this home part, you can actually kind of put it on here because we have a hole here that can be plugged into this pack over here. So theoretically, you could put it on like that. So thicken up the legs even more. But as you can see from the side, that's look very unnatural and it doesn't really tap in that well because it's only have one tap up here. Nothing else actually got plugged in. And because the size look, as you can see, it's look unnatural like that, so I think it's also safe to say that it's not compatible with the Baiwei figures. So let's take this out along with those 3 pieces that form for the other legs. Let's take that out as well. After that, after the arm and the legs fillers, we only have those leftover part over here, which is this one is the chest region, and it's come with the gap filler right on the chest. So as you can see on, for example, on this side over here, it have that whole big gap there. So if you put this in here, this will be the gap filler to fill out this part. And of course for this side as well, we have this piece right here to fill out that gap. And of course you can see that they are asymmetry design. And then the other part is just the head over here. But we will test out to see whether they're compatible or not right now. So firstly, we'll try to integrate this onto the figures. By doing that, we'll need the screwdriver. So just get a screwdriver here, and then just basically just take off the backpack right here. You'll see that we have 2 screws right at the back of the figures. So I just basically just go in using the screwdriver, and then just take this screw off. Just put it on the table like that, and then do it to the other side. That's very easy to take off. Let's screw it out. Yep, so both of them come out like that. Then we can now work on the chest. So basically just take this off, put it on the side like that, and then unplug this whole region. So you can see that this can be slided out. After we take off the screw, you can just slide this out. So try to do that. To make it easier, I'm just gonna use another screwdriver to go in here, and this will be the flat screwdriver. I just go into the gap and then just nudge it out. Do it to the other side as well. Just nudge this out. And then just try to take them out like that. Yep, then this whole region come up. So from here, you can unplug this side over here and then unplug this over here. So now that we have the chest region taken off entirely. So we're gonna use this one instead of this one. And then you can see that they are very similar in terms of design. They are only a little different in terms of the small details inside. For example, this one from the Baiwei one, they actually have their stand-up collar part right here, the stand-up collar, while for the MC-01 it doesn't have that stand-up collar. So that's one of the things. And then of course this doesn't have the place for us to put on the gap filler, because this actually have a peg for the gap filler to peg on. This one doesn't have it. So now we're just gonna put this in onto the figures. So what we do is just plug this in, plug this on like this, just plug the wheel on. Oh, I think I got it backwards, so it had to be like this. Yeah, plug the wheel on like this. So that's done for the chest region. And let's look at the head, because we already got them out. So this is our Baiwei head. And actually, look at this, I have bad news. They're not compatible, because when we look at this head for the Baiwei, they actually doesn't have their peg for us to actually plug onto, like the bone peg that can be plugged onto this MC-01 head over here, because this needs a bone peg to go in there, a bone joist for us to plug it on. But this head doesn't have that bone joist, only have this peg, this mushroom peg right here. And it has nothing else. This mushroom peg just pegged directly onto the head. So like that head will go into here. It just slide on here. It just slide onto that part right there. And because this head doesn't have anything to slide on, so unfortunately the head, the MC-01 head, is not compatible with the Baiwei skirt. That's such bad news because this head is very good, especially for the face mask without the mask. And the mask is like they are unpluggable. So I was really looking forward to putting this head onto the Baiwei figures. But there's no way we can do that with the design. Okay, so nothing else we can do. So I'm just gonna plug in the head onto our new chest region to see whether they can work together. Because the size of the peg, they're actually a little different. So it's also quite tricky. Actually it can go in, but it's pretty tight. It can go in, but it's pretty tight like this. But I guess I can still kind of rotate the head, so it's not too bad. But in a worst case scenario, if we want to make this work, we can use a bigger screwdriver. Just go in here and make this hole even bigger. And I try to do that. Just take off some plastic part. Just try to make this hole a little bigger. Because unfortunately, this gap is smaller in comparison to the one from Baiwei. So that's why the head have some trouble going in. And even after they go in, it just doesn't rotate that freely. But after I make this gap bigger, I think this will work a little better. Okay, so now we just put this back on. Just put this onto the figures. Just plug them in entirely like that, and then put on the screw. Oh, those screws are really tiny, so I have to be very careful with them. Just put it on. It doesn't really stay. Okay, got it in there, and I just screw back in. That's one side done. And then for the other side, basically just take the screw, put back onto this one right here, and then screw it in. Screw it in like that. Yes, so that is it. So now we have the new chest onto our Baiwei figures, and it's worked. Apparently it's worked. So we know that the MC-01 chest, at least this chest region with the chest cover piece, they can work with the Baiwei skirt. And that is our new chest onto the Baiwei figures. Unfortunately for the MC-01, we can only integrate 3 parts of that kit onto the Baiwei skirt. But at least, that still make this Baiwei skirt even more accurate and more playable. So yeah, this has a better hand over here. Both of the arms are better. And then we have a slide cover piece, gap filler piece for the side of the figure. So that's pretty good. So for the MC-01 upgrade kit with the Baiwei skirt, we definitely can integrate them together to some extent. But the head is not compatible, and the legs fillers are also not compatible. Let me know what you think about this. After I paint up this guy, I'm pretty sure that he will look extremely good. If you want to learn how to repaint your figures, just wait for my tutorial, which definitely will come out for this guy. Good luck! Hey, you. Yes, you. Subscribe to our channel. Please, otherwise Megatron might kill me again. And no, I'm not kidding. He's right there. Hey, Josh. So please, subscribe. I don't want to be back in 2 pieces. Your subscription means a lot to us.